everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tara, the Crazy Keto Girl, and this is going to be the last video of 2020. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to do just kind of a wrap up of the year and then explain most of the video you're about to watch. The end of my year was great. I ended on a high note. I'm doing really well now. The video you're about to watch, I would have filmed on the 21st in this video, and it would have been for the 23rd. Sorry, I keep checking the wall calendar so I get my dates right. It would have been for the 23rd, so it would have been the week of Christmas, and I was not doing well. And I acknowledged that, and I knew how I was feeling, and so I talk about something that I think is pretty important, and that sometimes in our lives there are things more important than keto, and there are things more important than the specific diet we are following. And so I had made the decision, because I was feeling so overwhelmed, to not keto for that week, and I stand behind that decision. I think it was the best decision for me because I'm able to still be here at almost 90 days without binging. Yeah, so I talk about the thought process behind that whole thing, and I talk about the things that I did instead and what I found more important during that time for me so that I could stay on track with what I felt like was the most important, which was not binging. And I did get through, and we are in the new year and everything is going smoothly again. There will of course be some water weight that I gained, and I'm also cycling this week, so that always gives me extra weight. So I didn't bother to weigh myself because I knew it was going to be ridiculous, but basically we will restart those weigh-ins next week, no big deal. And we are back to keto and everything is going fine. I'm actually really proud with how it went. I know not everybody agrees with, you know, starting and stopping keto or whatever, but yeah, I'm just in a different place. And if that doesn't work for your journey, that's awesome. I totally understand, and I support you to do whatever it is you think you need to do. And I hope that you guys will support me and will watch the video you're about to see from 2 weeks ago, because I feel like it actually has a lot of value. Yeah, I think that's it, you guys. Hope you had a great holiday. I'm wishing you guys all a happy new year. The video does cut off because that's just the luck I was having at that point. So the video cut off. The battery died. I didn't have eyeliner to finish the makeup I was doing. And so, yeah, it all fell apart. And then I just got wrapped up in Christmas and said, forget it. I will pick this up later. So I'm picking it back up. Here we are. Definitely let me know what you think about I think it's 5 things that I felt like were more important than keto. Let me know what your New Year's goals, resolutions, intentions, whatever you want to call them, if you make them, what those are. I would love to hear about it down below. Okay? All right, guys, enjoy the video. I'll see you soon. Here we go, guys. Today it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be, I don't think I've ever made a video like this. This is like makeup from a couple of days ago that I've been living in and sleeping in and crying in. This is hair that, you know, mom bun life that has not been dealt with probably in just as long. Today's weigh-in Wednesday, and oh, there's shit to unpack this week, guys. Okay, so while I do this, I'm gonna do something I've never done before, because it's a whole freaking video of stuff I've never really done or talked about, I don't think, too much. I don't know. Just roll with me, okay? I'm gonna put on new makeup and see where we can get with all of this. I'm gonna be terrible and just use this stuff because I actually did wash my face. But the palette stains my skin. So some of this, like all this purple up here, she ain't coming off. So if it looks like I didn't wash my face first, I promise I did. Anyways, it is week 8 of keto reboot, and right now I feel like a bit of a puffy clown. I'm feeling really puffy and not doing super hot. I spent a big chunk of this morning crying, and I have had a long week. So I'm gonna work on my face because for whatever reason, makeup makes me feel better. Sometimes makeup makes me feel better, and I think it will today, so we're gonna do it. So don't at me for my techniques or whatever, because I don't have any, so I'm just gonna say that now. Anywho, I guess we'll start with the relevant stuff, right? So at the end of last week, it was like a couple of days before the end of my week 7, I was not feeling super great about myself or life. I was struggling, feeling out of sorts, and just not in general feeling too pleased with how things were going. And I wasn't really sure why, and I posted a video about it that got taken down. I mentioned it already, I've talked about it before in a different video, so not rehashing that. But yeah, I went ahead and did that, and basically 2020 has been hard for everybody. At the end of week 7, beginning of week 8, I lost my 3rd family member of the year. He was in pretty advanced stages of Parkinson's, and honestly, like, we knew that he was going to pass. Like, that wasn't really, it wasn't like it was a surprise or anything like that. But regardless, I think it was kind of the manner in which he died that was a little bit overwhelming to me. And I'm not going to get into it, but it wasn't how I would like anybody to have to go. So at any rate, that was really upsetting to me, but like, I'm not particularly close with him. I don't know, I just didn't do well, and I don't know that I ever had dealt with fully the other 2 people who I was closer to passing away earlier in the year. So yeah. So I had that on my plate, and I was already feeling out of sorts. If you are new, in addition to having an ED, I'm also bipolar, and I also have PTSD. So yeah, my emotions can be a little off sometimes, but anyways, was not doing super well emotionally, and sleep had disappeared. So I was not sleeping well, I was really emotional, and things were really building up for me. And if you are in a 12-step program, or you have an ED or any of these things, like, you know kind of the perfect storm that was brewing. And I feel really blessed that I could see the storm that was brewing, because in the past I had not realized that things were amiss quite so quickly. So basically I recognized that I was not doing well, and that that I needed to do something different. And it isn't that I don't love keto or whatever, because keto's great, but I was acknowledging to myself that there were some things right now that are more important than keto, and following a ketogenic diet when I feel all of these things brewing in my life, right? And so I decided that there were 5 things that were much more important than whether or not I was staying keto. And for me, that was big, and I knew that some people probably weren't gonna take too kindly to that revelation. that I was going to take a week off. So going into week 8, I had decided to take the week off. I was not going to follow a ketogenic diet that week, and I was not going to weigh myself because I know if I come off keto, I gain a bunch of water weight. So I decided not to do that. Now, the 5 things that I decided were much more important than eating keto were, first of all, acknowledging and honoring my mental state. I felt like that was much more important than eating keto, because I know through recovery and through working with therapists and doing all the work that I'm doing, that the food itself is not my problem. The food is a symptom of the problem, and the problem is actually the buildup of emotion that is not being dealt with. So what was more important to me this week was dealing with emotions. I also decided this week that it was more important that I connect with other people, because loneliness is one of the things that can lead us into relapse, right? So I made a point of connecting with people. I talked to my husband, of course, because he lives with me and I love him, but I also was talking to people from recovery. I was reaching out to people and friends that I hadn't talked to in a while. I was doing outreach calls. I was hanging out on the phone with supportive friends more, all that kind of stuff. So like I was consciously making this effort to make connection and to reach out to people and to not isolate myself, because that is always my first instinct when I am struggling and having emotional turmoil, right? And so instead of disconnecting, my goal was to connect as much as possible and to text people and do everything that I could do within the confines of a pandemic. So that was the second thing that I thought was more important than staying keto, was connecting with other people. So I did that, and then I felt like the third most important thing was spending time with my children, which these are not actually in order, but you know what I'm saying, like spending time with my kids. And every Christmas, we make treats for friends and neighbors and family. We bake like crazy, and then we deliver tins full of treats to people. And this year was no different. We had a list of treats we were making, and we were doing that. So we ended up making probably 15 dozen cookies or so, and then fudge and a bunch of other stuff. And we made these tins, and yeah, we did that. And instead of being in my emotions and eating my emotions, I had been dealing with my emotions. And so I also found myself having issues where I was like, oh, I can't eat the cookies, I can't taste the cookies, I can't do these things because of XYZ, right? Like I had all these reasons why I couldn't do it. And I finally said, you know what? You're not doing keto this week anyway. And having all of this negative self-talk and all of these negative feelings connected to eating a fucking cookie is not healthy. And so just eat the damn cookie. And so I had some, fresh from the oven, delightful, warm cookies that I made with my kids and packaged up and gave to friends and people, neighbors, because quality control is important, guys. Anyways, so I decided that I was going to do that, and I wasn't going to let myself feel guilty about it. And I didn't, which was really surprising. But anyways, continuing on, in the spirit of connection and stuff, the treat tins also served in that capacity. We were making connection because those we actually did give to people directly. and they knew they were from us. I also attended Zoom meetings for OA this week to help me stay in line. And I also was secret Santaing, which I'll get to next, I guess, because the fourth thing that I decided I was gonna do this week, instead of focusing on the food so hardcore, was service. Now, service is a principle that I believe in, not only as part of my religion, but it is also part of the 12-step program. And so outreach calls and those kinds of things count towards service. But what I ended up doing was getting a list of people that were either like alone for Christmas, like there was widowers and different people, and then like people that had like had some loss, or were gonna be people that were struggling, like, and it was kind of a nomination thing of like who was struggling this Christmas that could use a little bit of joy. And so my daughters and I set out every night during the week and were secret Santaing. And so we had gifts and we were like ding dong ditching them on people's doorsteps at like 8 o'clock at night under the cover of darkness. I've gotten feedback because I've heard through the grapevine that, you know, it was helpful to people, which is nice. But luckily none of them know it is me, and none of them watch my channel, so they won't know it's me, because that's not the point. I don't want them to know that it was me. I don't want them to come thank me. I don't want any of that. Like, I just wanted to make somebody else have a happier holiday, especially when I'm feeling some type of way. So yeah, service was a big thing. And so those 4 things, spending time with my kids and reaching out for connection and attending, you know, through all the various ways that I was doing that, honoring my mental state and being honest about what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling it, and allowing myself to feel it and allowing myself to express it, 10th stepping that stuff when necessary. It all kind of goes back to the last thing, the 5th thing that I felt like was more important than eating keto this week and more important than a weigh-in this week, and that was not binging. And so I can happily say, sorry, as of today, I have, oh goodness, I'm smearing my face before I'm even done with it. I can happily say that I have 75 days binge free. So I've been having all these emotions and, you know, dreams. Like, I had a dream this morning about 2 of my deceased loved ones, and I cried for probably 2 hours after that. I've been a little bit weepy, but at any rate, I've been able to do all this with the goal of staying binge free, because I feel like staying binge free matters to me a lot more than staying keto. Keto is just a tool that I'm using to lose weight in a quicker way because I know that it works and I enjoy eating that way, but it's not my life, right? Like, it's not what my whole life revolves around, but my whole life does revolve around healing